Welcome back. I'm Brandon, the HBAR Bull, and once again, I'm joined by Zepzi. We both do some contract work for the HBAR Foundation, but we're not doing this video in any official capacity. We're just passing on the latest in the Hedera ecosystem. Welcome, Zep.
How's it going, Brandon?
It's going really good. There was an announcement that was just made this morning. Can you give us the lowdown on that?
So this morning we had the first public announcement of our DEX on the Hedera network, which was Saucerswap. And as we know, within the HBAR community, we've seen Saucerswap. They've probably been, I'd say, they've been active and sort of rallying the community for probably over 3/4 of a year, maybe something like that. So I remember I helped at the very beginning. There was an infographic that we made together that we put out. So they've been, doing this fantastic job rallying the community. It's like a really, really community-driven DEX with a big, big following behind it. An active Discord, like you said in your video, you had that big giveaway that was completely community funded.
Yep.
And to see them getting the support from the foundation, I think, is great. Obviously they were supposed to launch tomorrow, I believe. There's been a bug there, so they're moving forward. So that's moving forwards. But the funding has been announced. They got the 10 out of 10 on all their contracts with Hacken, which like one of the best in class sort of auditing firms. And they got 9.4 overall there, I believe, 9.6. And just very, very exciting. It'll be the first big push towards a DEX that we've had. They'll be launching with HST, USDC, i.e. Head Starter, Circle Pay, Tune FM, I think Seeky maybe. They've got Creamy's NFT, and they've got a lot of different, and obviously Source and HBAR and HBAR X, which is the liquid staking on the Hedera network. So yeah, it's going to be very, very exciting. I think there's a lot of community going to be rallying around it, and there's going to be a lot of drive there for our Hedera heatwave.
Yeah, it's time to have Hedera jump into their own DeFi summer. I know back in 2020 they had a general DeFi summer, and Hedera missed that one, but now we're cranking up, so I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely.
All right, so the other big news just came out yesterday. That's we're entering the phases for Hedera staking. We've just entered phase 1. That's technical availability. That's where participants can stake their accounts to mainnet nodes, but there's no weight in consensus, and the rewards aren't paid yet. And then we're going to roll into phase 2, which is ecosystem development. That's where supported exchanges and wallets will be able to integrate staking functionality to provide account holders an easy way to stake their HBAR. And also at that point, there's going to be monthly visibility. You're going to be able to see what HBAR are staked to what nodes, and then staking will also contribute to consensus at that point. I'm kind of lumping phase 1 and phase 2 together because, I mean, we're already seeing ecosystem development. I saw there was a tutorial out for Walla Wallet on how to stake with them. I saw Hashpack had some information out as well. So really the main difference is that visibility of seeing what's staked, and we're actually contributing to consensus at that point. What are your thoughts on the first 2 phases?
Yeah, no, they've been, I mean, like you said, immediately we've seen Walla Walla, we've seen Hashpack, we've seen Hedera Explorer with Acer. And I think, that's obviously that's only going to step up. But, to be first out the gate like that with like a pretty exceptional sort of migration with our ecosystem already, I can't see the other phases being that far off. But I'd love to see some of the big exchanges coming up and saying if Binance did, that'd be great. Obviously, Crypto.com, Bitrue, these other ones coming out and saying we're supporting HBAR staking, and if they say that on their social platforms as well, I feel like that'll definitely get some attention for our ecosystem. I think I saw that Binance had actually taken over Coinbase in something. I don't know if it was in user base, but it was definitely been in something like their Bitcoin holdings or something. So Binance are definitely there. Binance has supported us for a long time. So I'm really hoping that they'll integrate our own native staking, and that'll give us sort of a surge of users coming into our network for sure.
Yeah, I know that Bittrex only supports like Cardano staking, so I don't think they're going to have support right off the bat, but hopefully it'll come before too long. I know Binance US has staking support for several coins, so hopefully we'll get it there fairly quickly as well for US customers. But then, of course, we're going to roll into phase 3, and that's when things start to get really interesting. That's when the Hedera Governing Council will determine the minimum viable set of integrations, and after that, they'll determine the rewards rate, but it's not going to be any higher than 6.5 2.5%. And then once that's all completed, they'll start to give out rewards from account 800. And once that account has 250 million HBAR. So that's when we're actually going to start to get rewards. We talked about the integrations. I think they want it to be fair across the board. They want to make sure there's plenty of ways for everybody that's in the Hedera ecosystem, all HBAR holders, to be able to participate. They want it to be an even playing field. They don't want the people that are developers to be able to get in there really early. They want it to be fair across the board. But we've talked about account 800, and they're saying they need a minimum of 250 million HBAR. And we got another announcement yesterday from the HBAR Foundation saying that they're going to support this staking and they're going to deposit into account 800. So phase 3 looks like we're going to see most of the exciting stuff happen.
Definitely. I staked my HBAR today actually in my hash pack, and that was a very, very seamless experience. I chose UCL. I think because I just share their infographics so relentlessly, I thought I had to give back somehow. But yeah, no, very excited for the fact that the HBAR Foundation have obviously come out and said they're funding account 800. 6.5%. Obviously, that's the threshold or the highest value. Sorry, and to me, that's more than, well, to be honest, that's more than I was ever expecting since I've been in Hedera to get from native staking. I was always expecting it to be maybe 1%. And what do I get on my bank at the moment? Not even 1%. So it's great. And I'm very happy with that figure. I'm very happy to get on with it and get native staking for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. That's the cap. So we probably should expect 1%, 2%, 3%, but we'll see what it actually comes out at. But we're getting to that point. We've finally gotten there. We're talking about these phases that they're running through, and there are 4 phases. We'll get into phase 4 in a second. But of course, Hedera is very methodical with everything that they do, so we shouldn't be surprised that they're being methodical with staking as well. All right, the last phase that's going to be rolled out is going to be phase 4, and that's where daily staking visibility is going to be brought on board as well instead of monthly. As always, there's not going to be any bonding or slashing that had been announced early as far as Hedera staking. Also, there was a few accounts that they've mentioned that are not going to be included in staking rewards. That includes the Hedera Treasury, Swirls Labs, and Swirls accounts. So a lot of great news coming out as far as staking when it comes to Hedera. I'm interested to see what the ecosystem is going to do with it. But we also had another event this week. We had a pitch event where Hedera startups, we had everybody from Galaxy and Siki and MetaWizards and Zimbali all came out and they pitched to various capital allocators, and those capital allocators had the ability to ask questions after the pitches. We're going to be putting out some of those videos a little bit later today, and I think you're going to be doing a tweet storm on that tomorrow, so that's certainly something you want to catch. This is going to be part of a regular webinar series that we're going to be doing, so we're going to have another one next month. So if there's any startups out there or capital allocators, venture capital that wants to get involved, you can go ahead and contact the HBAR Foundation. So that's going to be pretty exciting. What else did we have this week?
So I think 2 days ago we had the Perini Foundation, and the Perini Foundation are a Swiss-based nature foundation who have come up with this sort of new concept called collect to conserve. And so the premise of it is that you collect these sort of Hedera, or it's on Hedera, these NFTs of these sort of different conservation parks of protected species, and all of the sales go through go straight to the actors of these conservation areas and channels without the need of that third party. So it's a way of directly funding these nature reserves in a interactive and interesting and direct way. And so Roman, who is the CEO of Perini Foundation, he was actually at the IUCN, which is the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, in Rwanda this week, and that was with Wes Geisenberger, the head of the Sustainable Impact Fund. And Roman actually presented his TEDx talk there, which is all about nature collectibles. So that'll be on YouTube soon as well. And yeah, I mean, it's just super exciting to see them all there. It's super exciting to see them backed by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, because they are the biggest nature network in the world. And the other people that were sponsoring the event in Rwanda, you had the WFF, which is the Worldwide Fund for Nature, which is another massive global charity in terms of nature. So it's some big names behind that, and just a very, very interesting and exciting idea. And also actually beyond that, they've also said that they're moving all of their other blockchain-based products to Hedera. And the president of the IUCN actually cited Hedera as the best option for that because of its sustainability credentials. So yeah, good news.
Yeah. I mean, across the board, Hedera is the most efficient network we have on Earth, so it makes sense that these environmentally focused projects are going towards Hedera. And it doesn't look like the HBAR Foundation is slowing down, pretty much ignoring this bear market and just hitting on all cylinders.
Definitely.
All right, so I did want to touch a little bit on the market. HBAR got down to a low of under 6 cents, but for the most part, 6 cents has held up fairly well for support. We've done fairly well over the last week. We're up about 15%. We're up about 4% over the past 24 hours, but the general crypto market has been doing fairly well. I'm looking for resistance probably around 8 cents. That's the Google spike high. Right now, we're sitting at about 7.4 cents, and just a few days ago, we crossed the 50-day moving average, and that's sitting at just over 7 cents. So that could offer some support as well. And as far as stater staking, we'll give a quick stater staking update. Right now, an HBAR X is worth 1.1244 HBAR. So you've earned about 12% since the beginning of stater staking. Total value locked on stater is at just under 660 million HBAR, and the APY is sitting at 36.97%, so just under 37%. All right, so the Hedera ecosystem is doing pretty good across the board. Do you have any final thoughts there, Zep?
I just agree. We've had Hedera NFTs go through their sort of parabolic run last week. They're still doing above 800,000 / a million volume HBAR on Zeus market. That's not even including hash access. Aside that, we've got DeFi, which is very, very much imminent. We've obviously announced the grant today. TVL should be going up alongside network staking. TVL should be going up. And we also had Gossip About Gossip with Zenobia and Avery Dennison. And in that, the representative of Avery Dennison was saying, one item could equate to 20 transactions, and there's billions of unique items. So, that's terrifying. And in the last day, so yesterday, the 21st, someone actually screenshotted on the mainnet on Hedera transactions 672 transactions a second. So if that's if that's foreshadowing of what's to come, then it's going to be a very, very hot summer for Hedera for sure.
Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to. I know AdStax did a test where we saw, I think, 2,700 TPS, but that was just a test. We're not exactly sure where that 800 TPS came from, but we have seen a slight uptrend in transaction volume. I think daily transaction volume is just under 1 million transactions per day. But yeah, everything's looking good, and we'll keep a close eye on pretty much everything we discussed here today, and I'm sure it's going to continue to heat up.
Definitely.
All right. Thanks for coming, Zep. Appreciate it.
Pleasure as always, Brandon.